Welcome back to the program. My guest in studio is the president of Earlham College. Are you used to hearing that at this point, Alan?
Just a little bit. It's growing on me.
Yeah. And okay, so you take over earlier this month, and
July 1st.
July 1st, but the actual, I don't know, installation doesn't happen until September?
September 23rd.
Okay, all right. Now, so how is that organization of that event going?
It's going well. There's a whole inauguration committee. They've planned everything. It's kind of like a wedding where you just have to show up.
Right, okay.
For me.
Yeah, sure.
But we invite the Richmond community as well.
Let's talk about your experiences now having been in town. Let me tell you what I'm hearing about you already in town. I knew this was an exciting hire, and I was pumped about it when we talked before. Hey, have you met the new president of Earlham? He's at Roscoe's right now, and he's talking to people. And then I see you at the governor's luncheon when we were moderating, and everybody's just excited to have you in town. And we never had the opportunity to interview the college president. Usually, we would see Avis in the community, but it seems like already you're trying to get a feel of what's going on around town. Is that fair?
Well, Avis has been a role model for me for many, many years, and that's exactly the kind of get out into the town and community model that I like to follow.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important to get some first impressions. So when we spoke before, you were real high on Richmond. After having been here for a month, still high on Richmond?
Even higher.
Okay.
Right. I mean, there's so many good people, not only just welcoming to me and my wife and our family, but trying to make this town better. And that's exciting. So one of the things I love about going to these community events is having these conversations, building these relationships, so I can be a part of that movement.
What are some things that you're hearing that people would like to see Earlham help with or work towards? There's always been a sense of Earlham reaching into the community. I spoke with a research team yesterday about co-working space.
Yes.
And so Earlham is in the community, but maybe not everybody is aware of that?
That's true. That's true. I mean, you can't find a nonprofit board in this town that doesn't have Earlham representation, right? We're very proud of our work in the schools, in the symphony, you name the organization, we want to be there.
Right.
But I think in a larger sense, there are a few people who are particularly focused on it. Following in Avis Stewart's tradition, Amy Holdhouse now with community relations, Jean Hambrick trying to stimulate a lot of entrepreneurial success here in Richmond, and even on the technology side, people like Charlie Pack, Ray Onko, who's been around for a long time here. All these folks trying to work with the community and drive the economic development, the cultural development, etc.
It's important to note that you're not just a president that comes in with a great background from Harvard, and undergrad here at Earlham is also a real key. Are you meeting with and getting to see other alumni from Earlham?
Oh, all the time.
Okay, all right. And
all the time.
And what's that like?
Well, that is so much fun. I mean, two alums chatting about not only the good old days, but what we're doing now and getting caught up. I mean, even if we didn't know each other then, it's a time to make the new connection. I went round trip to Chicago in a day on Saturday to meet with some alums and go to the Cubs game. It was amazing.
Well, that's, I happen to be a pretty big Cubs fan. I could have used a foam finger, something. I mean, something for the studio.
Okay, next time we'll bring one back.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. Okay, so I want to ask some really hard, tough questions. And Brian Zimmerman, who helped us organize the interview, he's sitting here in studio, and he's going to get nervous. He's going to get a little. So far, favorite place to eat?
Oh, that is.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Where have you found some nice spots? What's been unique and fun?
Well, other than saying I love them all.
Okay, I understand that. There's he's a president, so the politics comes in.
There is that. But I will say one of the things that surprised me, it wasn't here when I was here years ago, Gulzar's.
Oh, yeah.
The Indian food
Sure.
over on the east side.
Yeah.
That is one of those additions in terms of cultural richness that we need to do more of.
I agree. And I do have a concern with availability of some restaurants and some of that culture happening on the west side. I mean, people talk about the west side being desolate in some cases, and
the sleepy side of town.
Well, true, but a great thing that I think is beneficial for Earlham is the grocery store is going to stick around.
That's right.
It's not going to go away. That's an important piece. But getting some of the students over to the far east side of town or to the north side where the Thai restaurant is and some other things,
Yes.
that can be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to think about is what can we expand on the west side?
We're going to start talking to folks about what might be a draw, not just for our students, but for the west side as a whole.
Sure.
And I think there's some opportunity there. I think there's some real estate that might be developed that way.
Well, and in that case, that's something unique with the Earlham community too, is being an advocate for trying to grow some business on the west side. That hasn't always been a focus, and it may not be the number one focus, but it's important for students to have some options like that.
Yeah, many of our students, obviously, if things are in walking distance, that's a huge plus. But it's got to be, 40 is right there.
Yeah.
Right? So it makes it easy for drive in, drive out for everybody.
All right, so the second tough question I have is, are you surprised at all the construction? Are you kidding me? That's and the entrance into Earlham is undergoing some changes, and I hope that's done before students get in, but I don't know if it will be.
Oh, it will be.
Okay. Well.
Oh, yes.
Well said there. All right. So.
No, we're excited. I mean,
Yeah.
the improved signage and lighting and that boulevard sort of entrance coming in.
Right.
We want these new students to roll in and just feel completely welcomed by the banners the moment they enter campus.
I do have a question about students that are coming in. I think it would be a real challenge, and it is probably for every generation, but being an incoming college student and being aware of the culture and the world in which they're getting ready to enter into in the workforce, it is as complex and as divisive as anything that we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to be in charge of those students. I think that's a challenge, not a concern, but
It's super exciting.
it is exciting.
It's
Okay,
really
all
exciting.
right.
I mean, here's what I say, because if I'm talking to a kid coming just from Richmond, it's a big adjustment to go to college, even if you're from Richmond going to Earlham. But what I say to that kid is, hey, I need you to remember you're an ambassador for America, for a kid who's coming from Nepal or the Ukraine or someplace else where you need to explain American culture. And that's a big responsibility for a kid, and they're super excited by it.
Yeah. I love the activity, and you miss it from graduation till the start of the new year. And I know that doesn't mean the office and the campus isn't busy. I'm sure you are getting ready for those students to come in. But it's just exciting, and we're happy to have you here, happy to have your wife Gina here as well. It's exciting, and then, I don't know, fresh start may sound, I don't know, just hyperbolic or something, but I do think it's great to have you in town, and thanks for being part of the show. And you're welcome back anytime, but you have to bring the foam finger from the Cubs game.
Well, now I've got a reason to go right back.
Yep, go right back, talking to alums. Send one via mail, that'd be fine.
I've heard that's possible. There's this thing called the internet.
I can order it myself, you're saying. Okay, well, that's true too. Thanks, sir.
My only challenge is it'll be tough over radio. You don't want the foam finger to fit that hand.
No.
That one that I see mounted on the shelf.
Oh yes, yeah, that one right there. That's okay. That's a headphone piece. Now this is awkward. We're not juvenile all the time here, Alan. We do try to focus on some important issues. But I do appreciate you being on the show. Welcome back into town.
Thanks for having me.